Alright, I'm back. This is a late record. Obviously, y'all know I've been doing that daily upload, and we're still doing it. It's not making me go crazy just yet. We're doing well. But anyway, today what we're doing is we are going to be reviewing Terry's moves. I'm going to put them on a tier list. I already put them on there. And I want to review what I think about each of these moves. Which ones are good, which ones are crap, which ones are amazing. So let's just do it. Alright, so we got a bunch of Terry's moves right here. That should be all of them. And let's just get right into it. So starting us off... this is a pretty generic tier list so far. We just have the top going to the bottom. So, yeah. Alright, so starting us off, I want to talk about Standing Light Punch. Now, Standing Light Punch is honestly a pretty standard jab. It's nothing too crazy. No Chun-Li Stand Light Punch. But I do think this move overall is pretty dang good for pressure. And I like it. I think it's a good move. So, because of that, I'm going to put this boy in A tier. Nothing wrong with it. Pretty strong jab, if I'm thinking correctly. Moving on, immediately moving on, we are looking for Medium Punch. Now, Stand Medium Punch, in my opinion, is one of the better moves in this game that Terry can do. Not only is it a startup for a target combo, but it kind of hits like a heavy hit sometimes. Now, obviously, you can't do Stand Medium Punch like into certain moves without Drive Rush, like how you would with like a Crouch Medium Punch and stuff like that. But the target combo conversions, the counter hit conversions, stuff like that, I do think make this move pretty dang strong, and the fact that it extends his arm pretty long. And on Drive Rush, this ends up being the move I use the most, so genuinely I do feel like this is a really strong option. So because of that, and considering that I've already put Standing Light Jab in A, I'm going to put it higher than that. I think it's better than Standing Light Jab. Moving on to Standing Heavy Punch, we already know where this shit's going. Whew. Alright, so look, I know a lot of people hate this move. They look at Terry's Stand Heavy, or Stand Fierce, whatever you want to call it, and say, this is garbage. This is useless. This is one of the worst moves I've ever seen because the range is bad, you can't whiff punish, and you know what? For the most part, I really do agree with you. Now, where I do think this move is actually pretty decent is the fact that it hits twice, and I just like that. I just need that, you know? I need that for my heavy punch. So because of that, it's going in the D tier. Yeah, I can't really put it any higher than that. This move really needs work. Anyway, moving on. Now we're going to move on to... Wow, a lot of these moves are not in order. So moving on, we have Stand Light Kick, and I do feel like this is actually a pretty decent Stand Light Kick. Nothing wrong with this move. If I'm going to put it with Stand Light, I would probably say this is about as good as Stand Light Punch as well. And because of that, I think these moves kind of also deserve to go in... You know, I'm going to say A. I'm going to put both these boys in B. I think both these moves are pretty useful for sure. It's just, there's nothing crazy about them, but they're good. Now, moving on to Crouch Light Kick, I actually have the same opinion on this one as well. I don't think that has any crazy range or crazy advantage that other characters don't have, and that's a lot of Terry's moves. There's going to be very specific ones here that I probably will skip over pretty quickly because they're not too different from certain characters like Ken, Bison, stuff like that. Now, speaking of me saying a move is just like Bison, let's talk about Crouch Medium Punch. I know we're going out of order a little bit here, but Crouch Medium Punch on Terry is a really good move. This move is straight up Bison's Crouch Medium Punch. I like this move. You're going to be using this move for whiff punishing almost more than you're going to be using... Oh, I messed this up. I put Crouch. Hold on. You're going to be using Crouch Medium Punch as a whiff punish sometimes more than heavy, which is pretty sad, but hey, that's just how it goes. And in my personal opinion, considering that Crouch Medium Punch is really good at confirming in two moves and it's easier to use, it's easier to turn my brain on and use this move, I'm going to put it a little bit better than Stand Medium Punch. My logic is I made it up. Moving on. Let's go on to Stand... Alright, let's move on to Stand Medium Kick. This is like one of my favorite Terry moves. This move reminds me a lot of Bison and Cammy's medium kicks, where they just kind of go really far forward, and they're a good poke. But the cool thing about Terry's is that he can confirm off of a counter hit, not even punish counter hit into level 1, which is awesome, really fun to fish for. And on punish counter, he can go for like a low confirm and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like this is one of the moves that I would consider for Terry to be a god button. I use this move a ton. And honestly, that is the biggest way that I'm rating most of these. It's based off how much usefulness do I find with these moves in an actual match, you know? So maybe it doesn't exactly mean that some are exactly better than others, but the way that I play this character, the usefulness of these moves for me, exactly how I play. So now moving on to sweep. God dang, fix this man's sweep. This man does not have a very good sweep. It was one of the first things I heard about this character when I popped in and I was watching, I think was it like Broski playing the game? He's like, yeah, you're not going to be using this sweep. And I was like, all right, fair enough. And you know what? He's right. I haven't used it. Like, I've used it once or twice, you know? Like, it's not the worst thing ever. Am I really going to put it lower or higher than stand heavy punch? Am I really going to? No, I'm not. It's in the same tier. Moving on. Now let's go on to, oh my god, I completely missed crouch light punch. Crouch light punch. What do we want to do, guys, with crouch light punch? Personally, I don't think crouch light punch is any different than stand light punch. It's the same move, in my opinion. It's the same move. It doesn't even hit low, so it's, you know, it's the same move. All right. That's a joke, by the way. But it basically is the same move. Anyway, now we got the God, the second God button, which I think this is going to be our crouch medium kick. God dang, man. In fact, this move's better than stand medium. Let's be real. Crouch medium kick might be the best Terry move he has. Now, I haven't checked all the moves just yet, but dang, this move is good. This is like, isn't this like the third longest crouch medium kick in the game? Like, and he can confirm it into a target combo, which has a bunch of like little mix-up options. Like, dude, this move is crazy. The range on this is insane. And the fact that he can confirm it into so many things, in my opinion, makes it such a strong tool. Crouch medium kick, drive rush is just like one of the most used options in this game. It's the Street Fighter 6 option, you know, for most characters, especially Shotos. But yeah, this move is really good. All right, now moving on, I want to find if there's any other normals that we can talk about before we get to specials and unique moves. And we do have a few of those. I think most of them are going to be our jumping moves. So I believe that this one right here is going to be our jumping light punch, which is like a decent, I don't know, to be fair, like I'm not exactly sure how to rate a lot of these jumping moves. There's one that I do use a lot, but it's not jumping light punch, you know, like jumping light punch I think is decent, but I don't know, I don't really use it that much, so I don't really know if I can put it too high. I would probably say, based off usefulness, it's probably down here for C. I just don't really use it that often, you know. All right, moving on. Let's talk about jumping heavy punch. Jumping heavy punch is my favorite jumping in option. I know this man has jumping heavy kick, but jumping heavy kick likes to whiff my combo that I like to do when I go heavy punch after standard into heavy power charge. Yeah, I don't know why, but anytime I do heavy kick, jump in, I'm always getting that thing to whiff. So that's why I use jump heavy punch a lot more. Where the hell did I put jump heavy punch? Here it is. I use this move a lot because it's my jump in. So I think it's a good move, and I'm gonna put it about right here. I think it's fine right there. All right, moving on, we got jumping light kick. I don't use this move ever, you know? I really don't use it that often. In fact, I'm gonna put it right here. I really just don't really see too much of a use with this move. Now, when I talk about a jumping move that I actually do get some use from, it's me specifically, but it's jump medium punch, and that's going to be this one right here. I like jump medium punch a lot. So a lot of y'all who maybe don't play Terry might not know, or maybe you do know because you play Street Fighter. Oh, good for you. What Terry does with his anti-air most of the time is going to be his rising tackle, which you can see right here that I'm holding. Rising tackle is honestly a pretty standard, decent DP. The only difference with rising tackle, especially the light one, is that compared to other DPs, is that a lot of other DPs go a little bit forward. Rising tackle goes straight up. You know, so you can do medium and heavy and they go a little bit forward, but you usually use light because it's the fastest and it's easy to react to. So a lot of times in the corner, it's a little difficult to react to someone trying to jump out with rising tackle, especially when it's so easy for them to just kind of bounce right out if you don't space yourself correctly. So what I end up using a lot of the time to beat them out with that option is I do a jump back medium punch. And jump back medium punch is pretty good because if you time it well, you can also get a medium or heavy burn knuckle if timed properly, and you can cancel that into a special. So yeah, I think jump medium punch is pretty dang good, and I'm gonna put it up here. All right, now I'm gonna talk about an option that I actually don't hear a lot of people talk about, but is slowly rising the ranks in usefulness for Terry, which is going to be crouch heavy punch. I don't know if y'all have seen this move, but it's kind of the God button. Not only are you going to be using this move for like every Terry drive rush combo, but the hurt box on this thing is insane. It has one of the most disjointed hitboxes I've ever seen for a Shoto. It's straight up, his entire arm cannot be damaged, bro. It's insane. You can't damage this man. So yeah, I think this is another one of the god buttons for Terry. Absolutely god tier when it comes to Terry's buttons. All right, now I didn't talk about another jumping option. I forgot to talk about this one, which is going to be jumping medium kick. I like jump medium kick. This one's nice. This one's sweet. I use it a lot. I like to cross up people, so I use jump medium kick. I like this button, so I like it. I'm gonna put it up there. I think it's a good button. All right, I talked about it earlier. Let's talk about it. I mentioned rising tackle. Do I like rising tackle?
Yeah, I like rising tackle.
Do I use rising tackle a lot?
Yeah, I use rising tackle a ton.
Probably a little too much. There might be better anti-air options, and I'm just not like rising tackle. I mean, that move is fun to anti-air almost every single time someone jumps in on me. I don't care what they're doing. I'm hitting them out of the sky with rising tackle. I love to do it. It's fun for me, and I enjoy it. And in fact, I'm gonna put it a little bit higher than some of these boys because I like this move a lot, and I use it every 2 seconds when they jump. I'm not doing it randomly, though that would be funny. All right, moving on. All right, I do got to talk smack on something, and that is going to be Terry's drive rush. Bro, what were they cooking with this man? You ever seen Bison run across the screen in half a second? You ever seen Terry do that? Neither have I. Now, obviously, he doesn't exactly need a fast drive rush, considering he's got burn knuckle and some other options like that that are good neutral skip tools. But when it comes to drive rush options, nah, this move is... This move's little cheeks. All right, let's talk about... I just mentioned it. I want to talk about the GOAT, one of my favorites. Now that Terry is just released, this move feels even more useful than it probably will in a while when people learn to perfect parry it every single time. But until then, and especially at the rank that I'm playing at, God, I love Burn Knuckle. Burn Knuckle is such a decent move. Burn Knuckle is such a fun neutral skip tool that you can time and get plus frames off of mid-screen, corner, whenever. Sometimes it beats out fireballs, sometimes it beats out like crazy little setups and stuff like that. Beats out like Condor, Blanco Ball, stuff like that, and I just love it. So yeah, I think Burn Knuckle is a pretty dang good move, and I use it a lot. All right. Yeah, Terry's overhead, while I do use this move a lot, can y'all speed it up a little bit? I don't feel like it completely looks like an overhead, so that sometimes tricks people up, but it's so slow, man. I feel like once people actually do learn, like they do get comfortable enough with seeing this animation, they're just gonna react to it every single time, either perfect parry or DP or whatever they're gonna do, super, because it's so slow, man. I know there's slower overhead, so I really can't complain. I know Lily's got a horrendous overhead, but I'm still gonna complain because that's just who I am. Let's move on. We got Terry's forward throw. Forward throw, I do think, is a pretty decent throw in this game. You can get a lot off of it. You can do a drive rush, heavy punch, and get a meaty hit. You can, in the corner, throw out like a medium fireball, and you can hit that meaty. So, yeah, I think this throw is pretty decent. Oki is not bad. Usually, a lot of characters, I know the back throw is usually the better Oki for certain characters, and obviously they nerf that. But yeah, I like Terry's forward throw a lot. I think it's a really strong move, and I spam it a ton. So yeah, I think it's right up here. All right, let's talk about some weirdo, wacky moves. Now, Terry's got his little target combo, and he's got a bunch of different routes you can do off of it. Medium punch target combo and the crouch medium kick target combo options. And we can talk about a few of those after we talk about this last throw, which is the back throw, which I think would be a better throw if it wasn't for the fact that they nerfed a lot of the Oki. So yeah, I'm putting that there. I forgot to mention that. Let's go back to what I was just saying. And what I was just saying is about these target combo routes. These target combo routes could be better, but, you know, can't really complain. You know, I think this first hit right here, I think this is the second hit of the crouch medium kick target combo, and this one I use a lot. I think it's pretty decent. It could be better. Here's my problem, right? I think even though I do use this move a lot, it reminds me of back throw. It's like, yes, I take advantage of using this option a lot, especially once I have plus frames, but if a person is comfortable enough to react to this option, like, and they're just gonna block it, even if I have plus frames and they're not mashing, the only option I can do to be safe is cancel it into drive rush and go for a light punch, crouch light punch. And that is kind of not reliable. You know, having to spend 3 bars for an option that somebody can punish, you know, it's like, man, it's not the best option. So, you know, getting the routes and the setups off of this when it hits is like peak, right? And you can't hit confirm it, right? So yeah, because of that, I think this move could be a bit better. And, you know, in fact, I think by putting it in B, I'm giving a little too much credit. So, yeah, I'm going to put it, like, a little bit above these because I like the move, but usefulness, it does get me killed a lot. So, all right, so this is going to be Terry's target combo that makes him hit from in front. And believe it or not, I actually do judge all of these very differently. So this first one is going to be the one where he hits right in front of the opponent. And this one I think is actually the best one because it actually on block is +1. So it's actually, you know, it's literally a way to get plus frames. So I think this option is pretty good. I don't use it very often, but I would say it's like about right here, right? Maybe, no, you don't use it that much. So maybe I'd put it like better than these, I would say. But these options are really good. They're just, you know, they're very standard. So I think this one's pretty good. However, the one that hits from this one right here is going to be the whiff option, I believe. I think this is the one that actually hits. And let's see. Oh, yeah. So this one is going to, I just figured it out. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the one that whiffs. The one that whiffs, I've never really seen too many people use, and I don't use it, so I put it down here. I don't know if it's terrible, but I just don't really use it. And the one that hits from behind, I think is a little bit better than that, but I don't think by like a crazy much more. But I do really like the one that hits in front. I like the option on Perfect Parry to go behind them, but I like getting plus frames even more, you know? And you could walk back, you could do a shimmy, you know, like I prefer getting plus frames. Now we're going to talk about some other moves. Target combo, we got medium punch, heavy punch. I love this move. I use this move a ton. This move grants you one of the most fun spacing traps and frame traps in one. If they mash through this, they're getting hit. And if they try to mash something after, if you space it correctly, then they also get hit. So yeah, I love this option. It's pretty goated. All right, so I just realized that I put two of the same sprites in here, but I do believe that this is going to be Terry's target combo with the power. It's like the first hit of the power dunk. I think they call it like power drive or something like that. This part of the move I actually feel like is not very great because if it whiffs, it is beyond minus, right? It's just not the best target combo because it's only on hit confirm, right? So, you know, I think most of them are kind of like that, but this move specifically of the target combo, since it breaks it up, I feel like is like the weakest one. It just doesn't really do that much for me. All right, now moving on, we have power dunk. I'm pretty sure this is going to be power dunk, correct? Yeah, here's power dunk. Power dunk is the hit on the target combo that is actually good. You get some really good dash up, like light meaty hits and stuff like that, and you get some pretty good damage doing this mid screen. So yeah, I think this is a good option. I'm gonna put it like about right over here, and yeah, I enjoy using this option for sure. Now let's talk about Burn Knuckle. We got the light Burn Knuckle right here, which is going to be the double hitting move that was messing up a lot of people when this character first came up because it is an overhead on, I don't know why I said it like that. It's an overhead on the second hit and it can trick a lot of people. Problem with this move is that if they block it, you get a really easy punish and command grab characters can just command grab you. So yeah, I think as time has gone on, this move has become a little more useless, but it's kind of just more useful in certain situations such as Burnout, where I do feel like it actually is a pretty good option that you can use. But for the most part, I'm kind of saving it for light confirms and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely gone down in usefulness as time has gone on, and I would say it's probably down here. All right, so now we can talk about power charge and we can talk about crack shoot. So crack shoot in this game, now the heavy crack shoot is pretty awkward in certain situations if the opponent reacts to it because they can get a drive impact on reaction, but using light medium at certain spacings is a really good option if you time it right because you're always safe no matter where you are on the screen that you use this move. As long as it hits the opponent, you will always be safe. So I do think crack shoot's pretty decent. Mainly it's just kind of for like, it's mainly used for combos, I think, very similar to power charge, but the difference in crack shoot to power charge is that crack shoot does actually have options that you can use it in neutral, just not as common as options like burn knuckle and stuff like that, but it is a good way to get, you know, safe, but also, you know, approach the opponent sometimes if that's what you're going for. So what I would say about these moves is that I think crack shoot and power charge are going to be pretty close, but crack shoot's definitely going to be better because power charge only has uses in combos. Outside of combos, this move is incredibly minus, so it's definitely not going to be super high. So I would say crack shoot probably about right here. Meanwhile, power charge is going to be probably like about right here. All right, moving on. So now we actually have the OD finisher to a move we talked about recently, which is the light burn knuckle, and I actually think this move is like more useful than the standard burn knuckle, which is kind of weird. So I'm actually gonna put it like probably at the top of C or the bottom of B. I'll go bottom of B, just because with certain setups off a counter hit, you can do this move and you can get insane damage, like, you know, into like level 2 and stuff like that. So because of that, I just think that this move is better, but obviously you do have to cancel it after the first like hit. If you go into that upper hit that it's showing right there, you don't really get anything off it. So yeah, but I definitely think it's more useful than regular burn knuckle, but yeah, you do got to spend meter. All right, now we are talking about the most interesting fireball in the game and my personal favorite. So let's start with, I believe this is light. Let's see. I don't know the exact animations for these. I'm going to look at it really quick so I make sure I get these right. Okay, yeah, so I was right. So this first one right here is going to be Light Power Wave, which a lot of people complain about. I love this move. I think it's really cool that it's a low fireball that can trade with low fireballs like Jury, and I think it makes a character like Terry pretty strong because he can mix up his fireballs not only to bait up parry so he can drive rush and grab them, but he can also bait out people wasting their parry, you know, trying to parry fireballs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think this is a really good fireball, and it can go under fireballs, and a lot of people don't expect that. So you can have the option to trade or go low, and honestly there's a lot of setups using both these fireballs together, so when I judge light and medium, I kind of do feel like I need to put them really close to each other because you can't use one without the other. You know, you got to mix them up together, and I think that they both have similar uses. They both have a similar amount of uses, but the uses that they are for are very different. But I would put them really close. I love these moves, I love fireballs, and I'm going to put them close to a lot of these other special moves that I use a ton. Just by anything, I would say maybe medium's a little bit better just because it's a little bit safer and it's easier to cancel into an anti-air out of it. So I do think that one's really good. Now let's talk about the OD. OD is one of the weirdest fireballs in this game, and also one of my favorite. The fact that you can just use this and it goes like full screen is pretty incredible if you think about it. It can be used for certain combos that go full screen, and it can also just be used for a straight up neutral skip option. You know, I mentioned Burn Knuckle being a neutral skip option, but it's kind of unsafe because if someone perfect parries it, then you're kind of screwed. This is just a straight up neutral skip option. Like, what are they going to do? You know, like, I mean, they could jump over it, but like, let's be real. Like, they usually just have to parry and wait for you to do something. So, yeah, this move is kind of insane. So I think this is pretty close. I would actually say this is like one of the God buttons, the God special buttons for Terry. This move is incredible. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about Heavy. Heavy is a +5 on block special move, which can be used on meaty. You can use it for certain setups that aren't exactly real, but otherwise, either way, I use this move a ton. I love it. I think it's super useful. I think as people start to get more comfortable drive impacting and perfect pairing it, the usefulness of this might drop a little bit, but until then, I'm loving using this move. I'm loving getting plus frames, and I'm loving pissing people off. So yeah, I think Heavy is going to go around these other two, and I am going to say that this is it. Now, a lot of you other players out there who play Terry, y'all feel free to let me know what you think about this list. I am not a Terry expert by any means. I have won a few local tournaments with Terry already, but again, they're local stuff, and also, you know, I'm still around that 1600 range with Terry and Masters, so I would love to hear what some of you 1700, 1800, 1900 Terrys have to say, and even some of you other Terry players that are around my level that have some different opinions. Y'all let me know. That's going to be it for today. Appreciate you guys always, and I'm out of here. Peace.